So the most important problem for the students who study microbiology is bacterial classification, and most of the students are still confused how to classify bacteria. Today I will explain you the easiest way to classify bacteria, and one thing that I want to mention here, please watch till the end, because if you miss any point of the video then you are not able to understand the real concept behind the bacterial classification. Okay, let's start. Okay, let's start. So the easiest way to classify these bacteria is first of all on the basis of their walls. And okay, there are three types of bacteria on the basis of wall. The first bacteria, okay, the first bacteria are known as thick wall bacteria. Yes. And the second one is again thin wall bacteria, and the third classification is, yes, wall less bacteria. These are the bacteria in which there is no cell wall. The only thing is which is found in these bacteria are plasma membrane. All right, so there are three ways to classify the bacteria. The classification which have least count of bacteria, the classification in which the least count of bacteria are wall-less bacteria, and the only class which is found in wall-less bacteria are mycoplasma. You know, mycoplasma is the smallest bacteria in the world, and it has no cell wall, only membrane are present, only thick membrane are present. So it cannot stain with, yes, Gram stain. All right, so the next is thin walled bacteria. Next classification is thin walled bacteria, in which cell wall are present, but their cell wall is so thin that they cannot stain. All right, so it has three bacteria. It has three classes of bacteria. First bacteria is Treponema pallidum, Treponema pallidum, and you know, a very important disease it causes is known as, yes, syphilis or syphilis. It is a sexual transmitted disease. Later on I will be discussing in a more detailed manner. All right, so the next is Borrelia, yes, and it causes a Lyme disease, and it can be spread through a tick. Later on I will be discussed. And the next is, yes, Leptospirea, yes, Leptospirea, and it causes, yes, it causes leptospirosis. Okay, thick walled bacteria have cell wall which is thick, and due to which it take the Gram stain. So first of all, it classified into two groups. The first group is intracellular obligate, yes, obligate, and these bacteria cannot survive outside the cell, and they only cause injuries within the cell. So these are called intracellular obligate bacteria. This is the very important MCQ point. Intracellular bacteria cannot survive outside the cell. So the classification, there are two bacteria are found in intracellular obligate parasite. The first bacteria, yes, the first bacteria is Rickettsia, and the second one is Chlamydia. And some book also written it, yes, it Coxiella. In many books there are only two bacteria which is found in intracellular obligate bacteria, but some book also written it Coxiella are also intracellular obligate, they cannot survive outside the living cell. And thick walled are divided into intracellular obligate and extracellular, or we can say, yes, free living bacteria. It is the largest class of thick walled bacteria. So now extracellular free living bacteria again are further divided into two groups. Yes, the first group is gram positive, and the second group is gram negative, of course. Why should I have not mentioned here thin wall bacteria and wall-less bacteria? Because thin wall bacteria and wall-less bacteria cannot take the gram stain, cannot take the gram stain. That's why they exclude from the thick wall, they exclude from the gram classification, they exclude from the gram staining classification. All right, so the gram negative bacteria is a very large group, and later on I will be discussed, and now I will tell you the gram positive bacteria. Gram positive bacteria are classified first of all on the basis of their shapes. Gram positive bacteria are further classified on the basis of their shape. So first of all, gram positive bacteria are classified into, first group is cocci or cocci, and this cocci or cocci are round shaped bacteria, and the second one is bacilli. So now cocci are further divided, again cocci are further divided into two groups. Yes, these are staphylococcus, and the second one is streptococcus. Okay, and now staphylococcus are further divided into three categories. Sorry, it further classified into three categories. Yes, Staphylococcus aureus, and second class is Staphylococcus epidermidis, and Staphylococcus saprophyticus, and Streptococcus has 6 types. And the most common, I will discuss here the most common is Streptococcus, because Streptococcus has 6 types. So the most common is Streptococcus. Okay, ST, ST means strepto and S means staphylo, so please don't confuse about the S and ST. Streptococcus pneumoniae. Okay, so next is Streptococcus. Okay, I will write here Streptococcus viridian groups, and also Streptococcus bovis, and so many other types. Streptococcus has 6 types, so I will mention here only the only. Okay, Staphylococcus, first of all, Staphylococcus are the round shaped bacteria. They are found in cluster. They are found in cluster means in the form of groups, just like grapes. And Streptococcus are found in the form of chains. Remember that Staphylococcus and Streptococcus both are the type of cocci, and cocci are the round shaped bacteria. When round shaped bacteria are found in the form of groups, they are called Staphylococcus. And Staphylococcus are further divided into Staphylococcus aureus, Staphylococcus epidermidis, and Staphylococcus saprophyticus. Staphylococcus aureus is the main cause of toxic shock syndrome, and Staphylococcus epidermidis is the very important causative agent for the skin. Staphylococcus epidermidis is also the normal flora of skin. And Staphylococcus saprophyticus is a very important causative agent for the causative agent of urinary tract infections. So right now what will be discussed? First of all, bacteria are classified into 3 groups. So the first class is known as wall-less bacteria, the second class is known as thin-walled bacteria, and the third class is known as thick-walled bacteria. The thin-walled bacteria wall-less bacteria. Wall-less bacteria are very important, and the most important bacteria which is found in wall-less bacteria are Mycoplasma, that is the smallest bacteria in the world, and it has no cell wall, it is only cell membrane which is very thick and made up of, yes. Okay, one thing you have to be remembered here is the cell membrane, normally bacterial cell membrane are made up of phospholipids and other lipids, but the mycoplasma cell membrane are mostly made up of cholesterol. That doesn't mean it has no phospholipid, it has also phospholipids, but it has also, yes, cholesterol, and cholesterol is the characteristic feature of human being cell membrane. You know, human being cell membrane consists of 50% of, yes, cholesterol, and mycoplasma cell membrane also consists of, yes, 50% of cholesterol and 50% of phospholipid. This is a characteristic feature of mycoplasma. Okay, so next one is thin wall bacteria. Thin wall bacteria are those bacteria in which it has cell wall, but it is very thin cell wall that cannot be take the gram stain. That's why it exclude from the gram staining bacteria and include in the separate class. So the class are divided into three groups. The first group is known as Treponema, that cause the very important disease known as syphilis, and Borrelia, that cause the Lyme disease, and also the last but not least is Leptospirea, that cause the leptospiriosis. Alright, so the thick walled bacteria. Now thick walled bacteria are further divided into intracellular obligate bacteria and extracellular free living bacteria. Right now what we were discussed, that thick walled bacteria are further divided into intracellular obligate bacteria and extracellular free living bacteria. Now intracellular bacteria are those bacteria which cannot survive outside the cell and only cause injury when found inside the cell. But free living, or we can say the extracellular bacteria are mostly cause variety of diseases. Alright, and extracellular free bacteria are further divided into gram negative and gram positive bacteria. You know, gram negative is a very large class that I will be discussing later on, but gram positive bacteria are further divided into two classes. The first class is Coccii bacteria and the second class is known as Bacilli. The Coccii bacteria are round shaped bacteria, and it further classified into Staphylococcus, and the second one is Streptococcus. Staphylococcus are found in the form of clusters, or we can say in the form of groups, and that's why it forms a Staphylococcus. And Staphylococcus are further divided into three groups: Staphylococcus aureus, Staphylococcus epidermidis, and Staphylococcus saprophyticus. You know, Staphylococcus aureus are cause very important disease known as toxic shock syndrome, and also Staphylococcus epidermidis cause skin diseases and, you know, scalded skin disease. So later on I will be discussing in a more detailed manner. Now the next one is Staphylococcus saprophyticus, and Staphylococcus saprophyticus cause urinary tract infections. Okay, now the second group is known as Streptococcus, and Streptococcus are found in the form of chains. And one thing that you have to remember here, there are 6 classes of Streptococcus. Right now I am written only 3 classes. The first one is Streptococcus pneumonia, Streptococcus viridans, and Streptococcus bovis classes. Alright, so the next topic is Bacilli group. Alright, so the second most important group is Bacilli. So Bacilli is a very big group, so I want to write it here. Okay, Bacilli group. And remember that Bacilli are the rod-shaped bacterium. Bacilli are the rod-shaped bacterium. It means that they are found in the form of rods, just like capsules. Okay, now Bacilli group further divided into 2 groups. Yes, Bacilli are divided into 2 groups. First one is spore forming Bacilli, and non-spore forming Bacilli. Okay, so the spore forming bacilli are further divided into 2 groups. Yes, these 2 groups are known as aerobic bacteria and anaerobic bacteria. And aerobic bacteria is the most important one is Bacillus anthrax. The most important one is, yes, Bacillus anthrax. Okay, I want to anaerobic. Okay, so the aerobic bacteria are divided into Bacillus anthrax. You know, anthrax is a very important disease in which the skin are become blackish in color. Alright, so now next one is anaerobic bacteria, and anaerobic are further divided into four classes. These are the Clostridial group. First of all, anaerobic bacteria are known as Clostridial group. And the four bacteria are Clostridial tetani, Clostridial botulinum, Clostridial difficile, and last is very important, that is Clostridial perfringens. And Clostridial tetani cause tetany, and what happens in tetany, the muscles are become paralyzed, and the most important characteristic feature of tetany is spastic muscle spasm. You know, the body becomes so much erect, rigid. So the bacteria cause this is tetany, Clostridial tetani. And Clostridial botulinum also cause it, it destroy the neuromuscular junctions, and it produce some toxins that is very harmful for the neurotransmitter, which is acetylcholine. When these toxins attack on the acetylcholine are not released, and due to which the main characteristic features are appear on the body is, yes, flaccid paralysis. In flaccid paralysis, what really happens, the body becomes so flaccid. You know, flaccid means the body are not working, and all the, just like you are flying on the way. And the second one is, yes, Clostridial difficile. And you know, Clostridial difficile cause pseudomembranous colitis. Later on I will be discussed. It is a very harmful disease that cause the colon cancer. And the last but not least is Clostridial perfringens. And Clostridial perfringens cause, yes, gas gangrene. You know, gas gangrene is a disorder in which the infection on the skin contains some gases, just like hydrogen gases, and later on I will be discussing in a more detailed manner, but right now you have to be clear these four terms. Okay, perfringens. And the non-forming bacilli are further divided into two groups. Yes, the first one is filamentous and non-filamentous. And filamentous are further divided into, yes, actinomyces, actinomyces, and the second group is known as, yes, nocardia. And non-filament are further divided into two groups, and the first one is, yes, Corynebacterium, and the last one is, yes, Listeria monocytogenes. Okay. So again, let's recap that that will be very helpful to you to remember. First of all, bacteria are classified into three groups. The first group is thin wall bacteria, the second one is wall-less bacteria, and the third one is thick wall bacteria. And first of all, wall-less bacteria are those bacteria in which cell wall are not present, only cell membrane are present. Some scientists believe that it is the first bacteria Mycoplasma is the first bacteria and also the least, or you can say the smallest bacteria in the world, and its cell membrane consists of 50% of cholesterol and 50% of phospholipids, and its membrane is similar as humans, and its membrane are not similar as normal bacteria have. So the thin walled bacteria are further divided into three groups. The first one is Treponema, that causes the syphilis. The second group is known as Borrelia, that causes Lyme disease, and the last one is Leptospirea, that causes the leptospirosis. And the thick walled bacteria, and thick walled bacteria are those bacteria which take the gram stain. Either it take the dark gram stain or light gram stain. If it take the dark gram stain, it is called gram positive bacteria. If we take the light gram stain, it is called gram negative bacteria, and gram negative bacteria are very large class. Later on I will be discuss it. And gram positive bacteria are further divided into Coccii and Bacilli. Coccii are the round cell bacteria, and further divided into Staphylococcus and Streptococcus. And Staphylococcus are those bacteria which are found in the form of clusters, in the form of groups. And they are divided into three groups: the Staphylococcus aureus, Staphylococcus epidermidis, and Staphylococcus saprophyticus. Alright, now Streptococcus has 6 types. Right now I have written only 3 groups. The most common is Streptococcus pneumonia, the second one is Streptococcus viridans, and the third one is Streptococcus bovis. Okay, now the second class is Bacilli, and Bacilli are rod-shaped bacteria, and they are found in the form of rod-like structures, and it further divided into spore-forming bacilli and non-spore-forming bacilli. And spore-forming bacilli are further divided into aerobic bacteria and anaerobic bacteria. And aerobic bacteria, before bacilli, all the bacteria, either it is gram positive or thin cell wall or walls less, are aerobic bacteria. But the only thing that can differentiate this bacilli is it has aerobic bacteria as well as anaerobic bacteria. The aerobic bacteria are Bacillus anthrax, and anaerobic bacteria are Clostridial group, which is Clostridial tetani, Clostridial botulinum, Clostridial difficile, and Clostridial perfringens. And the last one is non-spore forming bacilli, and non-spore forming bacilli further divided into filamentous and non-filamentous. If it is filamentous, the bacteria are Actinomyces or Nocardia. Non-filamentous groups are Corynebacterium, and last one is Listeria. Okay, so now the time is going to discuss the gram negative bacteria. Okay, so after the gram positive bacteria, now move on to the gram negative bacteria. Now gram negative bacteria are very nasty bacteria. Gram negative bacteria are very nasty bacteria. They cause multiple diseases in whole over the body. So right now, first of all, gram negative bacteria are classified into Bacilli and Coccii, and class Coccii are only one group, that is Neisseria group, and Neisseria Neisseria class has 2 types of organism: Neisseria gonorrhea, that cause sexual transmitted disease, and Neisseria meningitis, and that cause the meningitis within the human body. Neisseria gonorrhea, Neisseria meningitis are treated with penicillin G, the classical penicillin, that is penicillin G. Okay, the Bacilli, the very important group, that is very important because it causes multiple diseases and it causes multiple organ diseases. So Bacilli are further divided into aerobic, anaerobic, and facultative anaerobes. Okay, facultative anaerobes. Facultative are those bacteria they can survive in the presence of oxygen, but it can also survive in the absence of oxygen. So facultative have 2 characteristic features. It can survive in the oxygen as well as in the, if oxygen are not present, or we can say oxygen are absent, it can also survive. So right now, so facultative bacteria and anaerobic bacteria and aerobic bacteria. Aerobic bacteria are very important. Pseudomonas. Okay, it is the very important point because Pseudomonas is the only bacteria that are aerobic in gram negative bacteria, and it is the very important MCQ point for the exams. And the second one is anaerobic bacteria. Anaerobic bacteria are bacteroid groups, and bacteroid group is special type of groups that cause multiple disease within the intestine. Okay, so facultative anaerobes, they can survive in the presence or absence of oxygen, are further divided into respiratory origin, or we can say the zoonotic origin, or enteric or related origins. So respiratory origin, or those bacteria that cause respiratory disorders, are Haemophilus. Haemophilus not only cause respiratory disorder, also causes some meningital disorders. Later on, it was very easy to understand this concept, but right now I am only classifying bacteria. So respiratory bacteria, Haemophilus, Bordetella and Bordetella, Legionella. You know, Legionella cause pneumonia, but Bordetella cause whooping cough. What it cause? It cause whooping cough. Another MCQ point. Which bacteria cause whooping cough? So the answer is Bordetella cause whooping coughs. And also the respiratory organism that also cause other organ diseases are Haemophilus, because Haemophilus not only cause respiratory disorder, also cause some meningital disorders. Okay, now zoonotic origin, you know, zoonotic origin are those organisms which are transferred from the animals, not from the human beings, that are only found in, yes, animals. The class are, it is a less important class because it has no medical importance. So Borrelia, Francisella, Posturella and Yersinia. Brucella, Francisella, Posturella and Yersinia. And the enteric or related organisms. First of all, one thing you have to be remembered here, this bacteria not only cause the enteric disorders, they also cause some other disorders in other parts of the bodies. Just like E. coli not only cause the enteric disorders, or we can say gastrointestinal disorder, they also cause some urinary tract disorders, they also cause some other disorders. Second one is Enterobacter, Serratia, Klebsiella, Salmonella, Shigella and Proteus, Campylobacter, Helicobacter. You know, Campylobacter and Helicobacter are curve shape. That is another MCQ's point. All the gram-negative bacteria are straight. All the gram-negative bacilli are straight. But this Campylobacter and Helicobacter are in curve shape. So the MCQs, what are the organisms which are found in gram-negative bacteria are curve shape. These bacteria are Campylobacter and Helicobacter and Vibrio. You know, Helicobacter cause gastritis, peptic ulcer, duodenal ulcer and so many things. Campylobacter cause diarrhea, and also Klebsiella, Salmonella, Shigella, all this cause diarrhea disorders. Shigella is very important because it cause HUS. What is HUS? HUS. Yes, hemolytic uremic syndrome. Shigella also cause and also some class of E. coli also cause hemolytic uremic syndrome. And Vibrio is a very important for the, yes, it also causes some diarrhea. So most of the organisms causes diarrhea, but some are also cause some just like Helicobacter, because they cause gastroenteritis, or we can say it cause ulcers. So here is the whole class. So first of all, what did we learn? Right now, the gram-negative bacteria first of all divided into cocci and bacilli. Cocci are the round-shaped bacteria, includes Neisseria gonorrhea, Neisseria meningitis and bacilli. And bacilli further group into aerobic, anaerobic and facultative. Aerobic is the very important group, and this aerobic group consists of only one organism, that is known as Pseudomonas. And Pseudomonas, you know how you can assess the organism which are present in your body is Pseudomonas, because Pseudomonas cause when Pseudomonas is present in your body, the cuff are green in color. Okay, now anaerobic bacteria are bacteroids and facultative. Facultative is the largest class of bacilli, and facultative anaeroba further divided into respiratory origin, or we can say respiratory, those bacteria that cause respiratory disorders, and zoonotics that are mostly found in animals, not in humans. And last one is enteric, and you have to remember here, this bacteria not only cause gastrointestinal disorders but also cause some other disorder related to the whole part of the body. Campylobacter. Now okay, so the enteric or related organism further divided into multiple 10 bacteria. The first one is E. coli, Enterobacter, Serratia, Klebsiella, Salmonella, Shigella, Proteus, Campylobacter, Helicobacter and Vibrio. And most of the organism causes diarrhea and multiple diarrhea, just like watery diarrhea, osmotic diarrhea and some other class as well. Okay, E. coli not only cause gastrointestinal disorders but also cause urinary tract infections, and Klebsiella, Salmonella, Shigella is the most common agent that cause diarrhea. And Campylobacter and Helicobacter. Helicobacter is the very important bacteria because it causes gastritis, peptic ulcer and duodenal ulcer, and Vibrio that also cause diarrhea. So these are the classification of bacteria. I hope you will enjoy it or remembered it. Again, I will tell you one thing before memorizing these bacteria. First you have to remember it, and also after remembering you have to put on the page and write it 3 to 4 times. That's a right way you have to remember or memorize these bacteria. Otherwise you cannot memorize or remember this classification. Okay, thank you so much for watching.